With only 2 days to go until the ultimate human race from Durban to Pietermaritzburg, Ewan went in search of some last-minute tips and advice. He met up with experienced runners Liesl, Faught and Claude Moshiywa.
Liesl, tell me a bit about the history of the Comrades. Where did it all start?
Comrades was started in 1921 by a guy called Vic Clapham in memory of his comrades that died in the war. There was about 37, more or less 37 runners that started, and 2017 or so that finished. Yeah. So it's been going for many years. Last year was our 85th Comrades Marathon.
A lot of people think that they can just go and run the Comrades, but there's a lot of qualifying and seeding that needs to happen. Can you explain to us how that works?
Well, to run Comrades, you have to qualify in a standard 42-kilometer marathon. You have to run that in under 5 hours for a 42-kilometer, and once you've qualified and finished in the required time, then you get put in a batch. If you run a 42 in 4.5 hours, you'll probably be seated in a G batch for Comrades. So, you know, lining up for Comrades Marathon, you have to be in your batch.
Liesl starts her 4th Comrades Marathon in the G batch, meaning she's able to run 42 kilometers in less than 4 hours and 40 minutes. Claude is in the A batch.
Now, Claude, you are going out for the win this year. I mean, the race is less than 2 days away. How are you feeling?
I'm confident. I've done quality training. Yeah, I'm waiting for the race day.
So tell me, how are you going to pace yourself for the race?
The first 44 to 50 Ks, I'll be at the back of the leading bunch. After that, I'll have to go all out.
Why don't you just go all the way from the start?
It's difficult to go out from the start because there's those who call the pace setters, who go for spot prices. So it's difficult to go with those guys.
Well, Liesl, I imagine your race plan is a little bit different to Claude's.
Quite a bit, actually. I try and keep a slower pace in the first half of the marathon. There's also quite a bit of walking in the start in my group because it's bundled, and then save your energies for the second half of the marathon, so then I try and run a little bit faster.
The Comrades is in its 86th year and is sponsored by Flora, Bonita's Medical Fund, Nedbank and Teta. This year's uprun has attracted almost 4,900 newcomers.
Claude, tell us a bit about the supplements that you use during the race.
I use Cytop Power and Vuma. I always take it after 20 Ks.
So you don't start with any supplements?
I take VO Max in the morning, early in the morning before I go for breakfast. Yeah.
Liesl, tell us about the supplements that you like to use during the race.
Most definitely Cytop Power. I do not start a long race or even a long training run without my Cytop Power. I also take Vuma gels on the race, just for those pick up energies.
Energy boosts and hydration are very important parts of the race, and during the Comrades, 1 ton of chocolates, 5.4 tons of bananas and more than 1 million sachets of water are consumed.
Liesl, when it comes to this ultra marathon running, there's something called hitting the wall. Do you ever hit the wall?
I really start struggling that last 20 kilometers, but I've got this mindset that I will not give up. So even if I have to crawl in, which luckily I've never had to do, so far so good.
And Claude, for you as a professional athlete, do you ever find that you hit the wall?
Yes, it does happen, yeah. It happened to me last year when I was leading Comrades.
In the 2010 Comrades Marathon, Claude made his break for victory and led the way down to the notorious Fields Hill. He ended in 6th place, but is determined to win this year.
Liesl, in your opinion, what are some of the most important things to keep in mind so that you can not only finish the race but achieve your goals?
Well, the most important is your preparation. I mean, you really have to take your training in consideration and train in advance. And then your diet, you have to look at your diet and your supplementation if you add your supplements to your diet. And then, of course, your mindset.
And Claude, do you have any advice for the professional athletes out there? But I don't want you to give away any secrets.
Actually, there is no secret when it comes to training for Comrades. You discipline yourself, you make sure you do quality training. Also, the sleeping time, you have to make sure you sleep correctly and eat correctly.
Liesl and Claude describe running a marathon as a life-changing experience that's good for the soul. Best of luck to all the participants. For last-minute tips and great advice, join the USN SA Facebook page or visit usn.coza.